editor for Diablo magazine. Joining me is Dominica Rice, the chef and owner of Bombera, and Ken Maxius, the director of external affairs at Comcast. Thanks for joining us again, Ken.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us, Dominica.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
We're inside Dominica's beautiful, brand new restaurant, Bombera, in the Diamond District of Oakland,
Yes.
right? So with this sort of live food series, this is our third one. We've done Pleasanton, we've done San Ramon, and we're sort of profiling East Bay cities through a food lens, sort of one city at a time, and now we're tackling Oakland. Sponsored by Xfinity. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. Yeah. And just wanted to make sure to tell everybody to stay around to the end of the episode because we're giving away a $150 gift certificate to Bombera, courtesy of Xfinity. So yeah, that'll buy a nice brunch outside.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Yes.
So thanks again to Xfinity, and let's just take a moment to learn a bit more about our sponsor.
Look, if your wireless carrier was a guy, you'd leave him tomorrow.
Not very flexible. Not great at saving.
You deserve better.
Xfinity Mobile.
Now they have unlimited for just $30 a month. $30. And they're number one in customer satisfaction.
His number deleted.
I'm deleting it. So break free from the big three.
Xfinity Internet customers, switch to Xfinity Mobile and get unlimited with 5G included for $30 on the nation's fastest, most reliable network.
Okay, well, that was great. Thanks again to Xfinity, and remember to stick around for that $150 gift certificate. We'll choose someone who's joining in for the video. So before we dig in, Ken, just like to introduce Ken again and say thank you for joining us. And if
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here again. Look, I am just so excited, number one, about this restaurant. The town, Oakland, is the best city in the world, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But one thing I want to say is Comcast is really excited and proud to be a sponsor of this particular endeavor because, quite frankly, we have stores not too far away from here in Emeryville as well as in Oakland. And then we have a program called Comcast Rise that I hope everybody checks out. It's really for those BIPOC small business owners across our footprint. And so really check it out at Comcast.com. We're really excited about that program. We're really excited about this. I'm really excited about tasting the food.
I know, he can sort of smell it as yeah. So we'll tease you a little bit right before we get in. We did want to sort of talk about Oakland in general. So, we've done different other cities, sort of smaller cities. And then when we decided to do Oakland, it was almost a little overwhelming since there's so much going on in Oakland, as we know. I mean, I live in Oakland. I think you live in Oakland as well. So sort of hard to keep track. I remember at Diablo magazine, I think 12 years ago, we did a story called Oakland Boom, where we tried to sort of encompass all the things that were going on in the different neighborhoods. And it was almost impossible to sort of talk about everything. And I know it's only sort of accelerated since then. And Oakland's really sort of in the matter of a decade sort of catapulted itself into one of the world-class, or at least nation-class cities in the U.S. So when we were trying to decide how we would kind of get a perspective on Oakland, we decided to chat with Michael Leblanc. And Michael is, you might remember Pecan.
Absolutely,
you probably do as well. Just sort of one of the landmark restaurants that opened in Uptown Oakland. It was sort of a southern soul concept. And he opened in Uptown Oakland along with Ozumo, and kind of was one of the main people sort of who kind of led to the rise in Uptown being kind of a drinking and dining destination for people all across the Bay Area. And most recently, he's served as the interim director at Visit Oakland, the city's tourism sort of promotion arm. So he's sort of perfectly positioned to give us some context on Oakland's dining scene, where it's been, and kind of what's happening now. So here's a little conversation we had with Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael Leblanc. I am interim CEO of Visit Oakland. I had Pecan for 9 years, and then I had a place in Hayward called Plate. Great time. That was my second career. I retired early, so I love the restaurant. It's the combination of the ethnicities in the kitchen and in the cooking styles, not just the food, but the different cooking styles And it's the camaraderie that you get that makes it kind of family. But then it's the people that come. And then in addition to the people that come and enjoy it, it creates a whole different vibe. And it doesn't mean that San Francisco is not multicultural, but we're multicultural in a different way that's, I think, a little bit more expansive and inclusive. Oakland is a difference within a difference. Oakland encompasses so many multicultural and different ethnic groups. And it's not just the ethnic groups, it's the integration, the true integration of all those ethnic groups where, I mean, you can get Afro-Cuban. I was doing, Afro-Italian or something, just, I mean, you get some crazy combination. Ozuma and Pecan just was one of the first, big projects like that. And it was just really nice. The environment was nice. It was something different. It was, for lack of a better word, it was on par with anything that San Francisco had to offer, but with the soul of Oakland. So we attracted people from San Francisco. We attracted people from Walnut Creek. We attracted people from Pleasanton. And even though it was just a little corner, just the ability to go back and forth made it so it was a happening scene. Everything got elevated, and so we get coverage in the New York Times, New York Magazine, Condé Nast, and it was like all of a sudden it was like popcorn. It was just there, and then boom, everything exploded, and it's still going. I love Jack London Square because it's just beautiful down here. So Scott's is a standard. Yoshi's is a standard. Everett and Jones is a standard. You got Solely Vegan right here in Jack London right now. You got the Fat Lady. You got, you have a variety. Again, you have that variety where you can get Japanese, you can get ribs, you can get Southern, you can get Italian, you can get pizza, you can get beer, you can get just about anything that you want down here, and it's a beautiful environment. A lot of the chefs have been trained, classically trained. A lot of them came up in their grandmama's kitchen, and they're just talking and doing crazy stuff. If you went to Kingston 11, if you went down to the car dealership, it's just crazy. It's the combinations that I think gets it. First of all, it got Oakland on the map, but then the bottom line comes to quality. You just have some good chefs, and what happens is because of the creativity that they've seen, it draws them here and it makes them experiment.
Okay, well, that was great. Thanks again to Michael for giving us some perspective on the Oakland food scene. So, Dominica, thanks again for inviting us into your beautiful new restaurant. And I mentioned in that story, 10 years ago, we profiled all these neighborhoods, and some of the Diamond District wasn't even on our radar at that point. But it's really kind of blown up in the last couple of years. Can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to do your restaurant concept here, and a little bit about the neighborhood?
Yes, for so long I was, working in Berkeley and living in San Francisco and the Mission, and I kept thinking like SF was going to be my city, and I moved to San Francisco in the Bay Area in 1993, and I kept thinking, it's going to be SF was where I'm going to have my first restaurant or cafe or something. And this never worked out for me. I could never kind of have conversations with anybody, landlord, city council, there was just nothing there for a small business that I was able to tap into. So in 2005, when my child was born, we had a chance to purchase a small house here in the Diamond, over on Coolidge and School. And so we lived really comfortable for 7 years. We were in this neighborhood, and it was just reminding me so much of, where I grew up in Los Angeles. and so diverse. And immediately I was able, as soon as I was ready to start talking about opening Cosecha, my first project here in Oakland, immediately, former Mayor Jean Kwan and her team, they really helped fund a lot of the beautification for downtown, for uptown, and started a lot of these beautiful women chefs and people of color, and then just getting that downtown energy where it needed to be. So Cosecha was able to, make a name for itself and stay in downtown, but my heart always stayed in the Diamond. So I was happy to be working and living in Oakland. And so with the Diamond, it's like almost 5 neighborhoods in one. So you're really close to the Laurel. You're in basically across the street from the Fruitvale, and you're close to Park, and half a mile up to Montclair Village. So it's just it feels like so many, and then we have all the students from Mills. So we're just so happy that this neighborhood, we wanted to do a second project here. So Bombera is a Mexican-American restaurant, and it's Cosecha's mom, Big Mama. So Bombera is here, and Bombera means female firefighter. Right. So this is the old firehouse that we're in, and we have been working on this project for about 4 years with the city of Oakland, and we've been doing a lot of love and care and structural engineering and working with a lot of really great people in the city, and with our general contractor, Rockridge Builders, have done such a beautiful job. We want everybody to come and visit. And we've already seen a ton of our old customers come in for brunch. So that was like our pride and joy. It's here, and people have been very happy to find our new home.
Yeah, and one of the advantages about here, it seems like it's a little sunnier out here, a little warmer, so kind of perfect for outdoor brunch.
Perfect.
Right? Yeah. And it's, you have to come down because you have to see it. They have these lofty ceilings. I obviously had to accommodate fire trucks.
Yeah, we're in the engine room, which is now my kitchen. And bar and dining room. So the engine room is like really bright and airy, and it's just perfect.
Yeah, and it looks like the former fire station doors you've turned into these beautiful glass doors, and you get a ton of natural light. So really recommend checking it out. So tell me a little bit about Bombera and sort of the concept. I know you'd said it's not strictly a Mexican restaurant, sort of Mexican Californian or Mexican American. Can you explain sort of the thought process that went into the restaurant here?
So definitely Bombera is an Oakland restaurant. So it is Mexican-American cooking, and a lot of pride and joy going into that. So you have to remember, you have 250 years of like this Mexican-American experience. And Oakland is a big part of that. And we have Peralta Hacienda just, a half mile down the road. And so that's just beautiful museum. And we just want to represent that, Mexican-American culture that's been a part of creating Oakland into what it is today, and we're very proud of that. And using the name Bombera, it's just, it's something that we want to remind people, like, this firehouse was shut down because it was only built for men, and my industry sometimes is only built for men as well. So, so for using the name Bombera as a reminder for myself and for people in my community who speak Spanish, so that yes, we need more female firefighters. We need more to support more female chefs in small business. That's what we have here in Oakland. We see a lot of women chefs own and run their businesses, and with the support of Xfinity and Diablo magazine. And I thank you guys for that. And I thank my customers for supporting women in business here. And that's the difference with other cities. Oakland is definitely, the customers are super smart, per capita as far as education, university, well-traveled. So you can't fool them. You're not going to get away with trying to make smoke and mirrors. No, it has to be the real deal. And they know their ingredients. So, and they know their farmers. So, they supporting me. They know that they're going to be supporting some of the great farmers in the Bay Area.
And do you see? I remember we were talking. You used to see a lot of customers that would work downtown and would support Cosecha, but a lot of those people actually live in the neighborhood. So do you actually have a lot of customers from cosecha that have been dropping by Bombera? as well?
Oh yes. Like I said, Saturday morning, they were here half an hour early, in line. It was really beautiful because we have some of the classic menu items that we were famous for in cosecha, which is pozole and shrimp tacos. But we've added some new dishes and new surprises that our regular customers from downtown, who all live off of MacArthur, by the way. So like this is another reason why I picked this neighborhood, because I'm like, I know where everybody lives.
Right in the middle of it
I know
all.
that they're really close to this neighborhood.
You can hail them down when they're passing in there.
I want people to be able to walk to their neighborhood restaurant, have a nice glass of wine, and a really nice smoked trout tostada, which we're going to be preparing today. This is a new item that's been on the menu for the summer, and it's been a hit.
Okay, great. Well, enough chit chat. Let's get to the main event here.
Sure.
So, why don't you introduce what you're preparing and why?
So I'm choosing this dish is because I made it for my family also when I was visiting Los Angeles. So you can make a big platter or just make it and let people assemble their own tostada. So it's definitely something if you're entertaining, or it could be a main course or an appetizer. It's really quick, and then also it's kind of celebrating summertime right now. But this dish here will change a little bit during winter. We'll have pickled beets instead of the cherry tomatoes, but we'll still continue with the smoked trout. And then in Baja California, there's a lot of they use a smoked marlin, and it's delicious.
Wow.
So when I travel to Baja, I like the fish tacos. I like the smoked fish, the smoked marlin, but we don't get those certain products here.
Right.
So what we do get here in the Bay Area, I go to Monterey Fish, and they deliver lovely smoked fish. It could be a smoked salmon, or smoked trout, or steelhead trout, any of those.
Do you always do trout at your restaurant, or will you switch it up?
Right now we're always using trout, but I just like that little smoky flavor. It goes really well with the margaritas or the Mexican wines that we have on the list, because it's just like that little extra like smokiness there.
Right. Could pair with a mezcal, like a smoky mezcal. Yeah.
Perfect. So it can definitely stand up to some mezcal.
Right.
So if you guys have any questions for me about home cooks and little tricks that I use, and some of these products I just love, and they're Bay Area. Seca Hills olive oil, I really love. I've been using this for my salad dressing for years, and that's something everybody wants the recipe too. It's like the salad dressing. Well, here's part of the secret is Seca Hills olive oil, and that is in Yolo County, Catch Creek. Okay. And then we have the Mazzetti family, and there's pickle juice and spicy pickle juice. You can't go wrong. So it's like if you need, that's one of my secrets is like pickle juice. So if you're doing a potato salad or a trout salad,
just adds a little sort of pickled element to it.
So that's something I've been using a lot of. Okay. So this is really simple to assemble. We can also do a vegetarian version.
Okay.
And
what do you use for the vegetarian?
Well, we're going to be using the Sun Gold cherry tomatoes and the Sweet 100s from River Dog, and cucumbers, radishes, and the avocados. Okay. So for the trout tostadas, what I'm going to be adding is just some nice chopped up shallot or
beautiful color
red onion. This is just some simple red onion. I like that. Some people don't. If you don't, just use chives instead, because some people don't like that little extra bite. And of course, I love the jalapenos. We're going to do that, and you can chop this up or just keep them on the side, but for me, I just like them.
Depends on your spice level, I guess.
Yes. So this is really simple, and the main thing too is a lot of citrus. So we always try to have a lot of citrus in almost all of our dishes, like a lot of little lime, either to marinate or a finishing touch at the very end. Right. So this gets just tossed in. If you pour a little bit of olive oil for me, it's a little bit, and then we're gonna assemble our tostada. So we're already done. Like we're gonna have a snack. We're gonna have lunch already. This is perfect.
How's that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, great.
And then, so this can sit overnight, no problem. And you can serve this, assemble it, or let people assemble it themselves.
This is sort of a perfect brunch thing if you're having
It
people
is
over for brunch,
so
right?
perfect for brunch. We also serve this people during brunch. They'll add a crispy egg to it.
Oh,
So we
nice,
have the
yeah.
Alice Waters taught me how to do the the crispy egg in the fireplace, and so
Oh.
we have the mesquite. So we have their.
How does she do it?
fried egg.
She puts it in something and then does it over the fireplace?
Yeah,
is that
her
right?
daughter
Yeah.
Fanny
That's right.
at Curated, they do a really beautiful. They have these steel spoons.
Oh, yeah.
that
Oh,
are
right.
and we put them over the fire,
Uh-huh.
and they have with little fresh olive oil and crispy farm egg. It's
Wow.
just so it's
Yeah.
lovely.
Mhm.
So we're giving people options for that, and they're really happy about it.
Yeah.
So what? Let's assemble a couple of these. Let's do
Great.
one, and I'll
Okay.
show you how it looks like here.
And I'd like to just encourage anybody, if anybody has any questions, just fire them off in the comment section and we'll try to get to it.
Yes. This looks great.
Great.
So this is what it looks like when you're here
Okay.
at Bombera.
Great. And now these came pretty fresh out of the out
Yeah,
of
so
the fryer.
they're
You make
crispy.
these yourself, right?
This is crispy tostadas, and I like to cut them in half just so they could give a chance to share. It's hard to once it's fried up, it's hard to
Yeah. Kind of
try to share a tostada after that. It's not happening. So
splits
this
into
way,
a million pieces.
yeah. So right now, this is the best for me. This is working,
Great.
and it gives people a chance to share.
Mhm.
You can add some. I just made this with some sour cream and some avocado and
Okay.
cilantro.
Great.
And this is something that you can just do straight up guacamole.
Okay.
If you
so
don't
can
want
switch that.
any
Uh-huh.
of the dairy,
Mhm.
then that's fine. So that's just.
This is sort of a creamier avocado.
Yeah, and that
crema,
balances
yeah.
out the jalapeno. So this is why, ride that wave. Don't worry. We got you. I'm not gonna.
This
leave
is a
you-
Bombera, right? This
leave you
this
there
puts out the
burning.
fire of the.
Oh yeah, that little. It's really nice, but this can get a little messy, but you have little cute little. And also, if you want to make this without the corn. We've
Okay.
done this a few times because there's some customers who can't handle any of the corn, which is fine. So we'll make a little jam or a little red salad.
Okay, great. Right.
Yeah.
It's the little cups that can stand up to the. And do you make your own tostadas, right? Can you tell
So
me
we
about
make
that
our own
process?
tostadas,
Yeah.
and we also work with a really great company here. We make our own tortillas in-house
Right.
and our own nixtamal,
Mhm.
but we still use, one of the pride and joys of Oakland is La Finca.
Uh-huh.
So La Finca has been a really great support to us throughout the whole, 11 years that I've been working in Oakland.
Uh-huh.
And they're one of the oldest Mexican American families that has a molino.
Okay.
And it's like third generation that runs the business.
Uh-huh.
And it's amazing family. So La Finca, they're at all the Mexican grocery stores,
Uh-huh.
and they supply us with the ready-made tortillas.
Okay,
So
great.
I'm at any size. And so at that point, they deliver that twice a week. And we can use that for chips or tostadas.
Okay, that
and,
makes sense. Uh-huh.
But the rest of the masa that we sell here, right now we're working with a lot of corn from Chiapas this
Mhm.
season.
You showed me the pot where it was sort of boiling down, and the color is so unique.
Gorgeous.
It's not like sort of Nebraska corn that you get. It's a little bigger.
No, it's,
and
there's a couple of styles
Yeah.
of corn that we're using. Melida, regálame poquito nixtamal de pozole para que ellos vean. Del amarillo y azul, 3 platos, así. So Melida,
Okay.
your friend. Your friend
yeah.
Melida is going to bring us some sample of the
All
corn.
right.
So today
Might bring you a little extra. I think.
Today's the day that we do a lot of the prep of cooking and cleaning the corn, which is like the nixtamalization,
Uh-huh.
which you cook it with caul or with wood ash,
Okay.
and it cooks and it makes it so that it becomes more of a complete protein.
Okay.
And
How long does that take to
it usually takes about, maybe 40 minutes of simmering,
Yeah.
and then at that point, just a more resting time.
Okay.
And then you wash it,
Mhm.
and then at that point, it's ready to go through the stone grinder.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And
then
make tortillas, tamales, we do all that.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I think 10 years ago we did a video when I was first at Diablo of you hand pressing the tortillas at Cosecha. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm gonna open up some wine. Oh yeah.
Can I open this up for you?
Yes, please. That was really fun. We did a really nice tortilla demo at my first kitchen. That was hysterical. It was so sweet.
That was our
That was
all-star
really
intern at the time, organized that, and
That was
edited it,
so
which was wonderful.
sweet.
Yeah.
I would love to see that video again.
We'll, you know what we'll do? This video will be on the DiabloMag.com website, and we'll include a link because that's still on YouTube to that original video, which it must have been 10 years ago.
Maybe, yeah. It was a while ago. So here, I'll do one vegetarian here, just so that you can use whatever you have. Even if you have, what's kind of popular is they do a lot of cauliflower, chopped up cauliflower, with carrots, and make kind of like a vegan ceviche with root vegetables. It's delicious. And so with avocados, and it's just delightful. So you can do the same tostada with guacamole or sour cream, depending if you're vegan, and you can just, it doesn't have to have the trout.
Yeah, this is great. I just wanted to say that. I'm about to finish this. I might have to eat his if he doesn't finish his.
So we have a really lovely.
Tell us about the wine.
Yeah, we have a really lovely. This is at one of the La Casa Vieja from Mexico. This is from Mexico. This is from the Valle de Guadalupe. And they're gonna have a mega. Ensenada is having, and the Valle de Guadalupe is having a big party on this month on the 27th. I think all the hotels have already been booked out. Everybody's fine. It's a big wine celebration. I mean, because they are the Napa Valley for Southern California, and it's beautiful. So every January, I try to go visit the different wineries in Mexico and the Valle de Guadalupe. And this is the new one that I've been introduced to from our sommelier here, and he's an Oakland, an Oakland, born and raised, kid. He's not a kid. He's just true Oakland. And he picked some really great wines, all organic, none of the heavy sulfurs. And so I hope you enjoy it.
Cheers.
Gracias.
Yeah. It's wonderful. Yeah, really nice. Well, I think a lot of people over here are a little biased when it comes to wine country. They don't realize that there's a lot of wine happening down in Mexico. It seems like there's quite a bit happening.
Oh my God! Every year it gets bigger, and the thing that I'm happy about is more of the organic options, and the natural wine movement is also gaining momentum.
And that's good for the earth and less hangovers, right? Is that the major benefit of
less sugar? We don't want any of that extra sugars no hangovers, please. No, I'm like, this is like, I always tease. I always tell my husband, this is my vitamin C. It's like my natural wine, antibiotic. What is it? This is. It's like my health drink.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good for you. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try this. Excuse me.
I hope you enjoy that. ¿Sí está bien?
I told you.
You were one step ahead of me.
I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Could not resist.
You weren't lying. You can really taste the smoke coming out from the trout. It's wonderful.
Yes, it's so good, and it's been a real crowd pleaser thing. And then the wine can stand up to that. It's with that smokiness, and then there's not a ton of fattiness, but there's a little fattiness there with the fish the tannins balance it out.
It's wonderful. So this dish, I mean, as you mentioned, you can just make it for yourself, but it really works well as sort of a party dish or a hosting dish, because you can make a lot of stuff beforehand and just lay it out, and people can help themselves, right?
Oh, definitely. And sometimes if we have a little bit left over, I'll eat it over rice. It's so good. It's like really one of my favorites.
That's great. Okay, looks like we have a question down there. If you want to.
Okay, some questions. Well, one says, where can you find a good Afro-Cubano food in Oakland or in the Bay Area?
Oh, my friend's house. So Leo Cubano.
What's their address? Yeah.
Leo. He's one of our main bartenders here. He's worked with me for 10 years. So Leo is his family. Oh my God, they're incredible. The yuca con mojo de ajo, incredible. And so I've been blessed. We used to do Cuba night parties in downtown Oakland, and I would have his mom come over and cook with us. And so we love Leo, but they don't run a restaurant. It's all home cooking. And but we do have a really great Puerto Rican restaurant.
That's
La
right.
Perla.
Yeah.
And La Perla, they're here on Fruitvale and MacArthur,
They're around
next
here.
to La Farine, right the next block over. So they're great. So I had a crispy pork chop with frijoles and plátanos. Amazing.
Do they have mofongo there? Or?
Yes.
Do they? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so they have their amazing family, and they kind of like have that Cuban vibe as well. You know, Puerto Rico, Cuba, vecinos, their neighbors, so that they have that same soul food that we love with Cuban soul food and the Puerto Rican food. So the Diamond is definitely, serving it up.
Yeah, it's got a diverse array.
Thank you,
of
Janice,
stuff,
for that question. Let's see. Oh, we have Larry. How is the trout smoked?
Well, this is definitely like a hickory smoked, and this is coming in from Monterey Fish. And the reason why I've been working with Monterey Fish, I've been working with them since 1999, and they have been just true to North Berkeley and San Francisco, and they've been providing seafood and the reason for all the big restaurants here, from French Laundry to Chez Panisse to Cosecha and Bombera. So this is a really so we can show you the
Dios
corn.
mío.
So the reason why I use
This is for you.
and Monterey,
Thank you so much.
And Monterey Fish has a great supply, and the reason why I like kind of like a light cold smoke. It's we haven't had the chance to smoke the fish in house yet, but
Is
we
that
will
something
get
you
there.
may do?
The one thing with Monterey Fish is that they have so many amazing products. I just can't say no.
Right.
And so one day they were just like, "Do you want to try some of this?" And I said yes, and I just keep ordering it. And but we had the reason why I love Monterey Fish and use and work with them is because they still support some of the small fish boats that we have here in the Bay Area
Really? Wow.
that go out only just maybe for a few times per season. They're not necessarily every day, but they still believe in trying to support the small boats that we still that culture that is dwindling, and they are just trying to hanging on. And so I purchased a bunch of beautiful halibut for Friday dinner. It was amazing, and we cooked that in the wood oven. So that also had a chance to get a slight smoke on the halibut. So, but with the trout that they supply is just so good. I can't say no.
That's great.
I have a question. This is such a beautiful spot. I dare say this is probably one of the most beautiful spots in Oakland.
Thank you.
What if someone wants to rent out this place and have you as their chef? How does that work?
Oh yes. Well, we have a really beautiful company, the Diaspora. They're renting out the backyard. So they're doing a party, business party. So they did a business lunch and a brunch and lunch today. So we're doing 2 meals for them. So they would definitely need to email us at information@bomberaoakland.com. And our assistants would definitely start sending them price options for buyouts. But the good thing is that we do have the garden in the backyard, so we,
It's a beautiful garden.
yeah, we can find. I think we can definitely find a price point for everybody. Yes.
Love the colors.
Thank you. Yeah. So anybody who's having like a wedding reception or that would be great.
Absolutely.
A rehearsal dinner, definitely. They can take over the patio.
Maybe music, or do you have music on certain days here?
We have some DJs here.
Great acoustics.
Inside.
Yeah.
But for the acoustic music, we haven't had much. We have had a poetry evening. That was really good. Yeah, we had our Puerto Rican, my soul sister. She came out and did a really great blessing and a poetry event. And that was to open up the backyard. And so it's officially in service. Yeah.
That was sort of the opening that you did that for. That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about the corns
So
here?
the corn. I never to take all this away.
Yeah.
So, ¿usted tiene una de texpeño, Meli? Texpeño, la amarillo? No. Okay. So the blue corn is, so this has already been washed with lye and simmered in hot water. And so this is usually let soak for overnight, and then at that point, so it's really, this feels cold. This one's, but we have some of the que está caliente. We have some that's still on the stove right now, boiling. So this is now getting ready. It could be ready to wash. So this as we know, popcorn and the thicker corns have that thick shell, and so we have to process it in a similar way, where you wash this over, and then at that point you rinse it over cold water, and then it's ready to start going through the stone mill. And this is what you have for tortillas. So if you don't do this process, if you eat too much of one thing, it can start, poisoning you. So if you eat too much, because then that plant just retaliates against you. So doing this process, like if you just eat edamame every day, you'll start like a lot of it as your main staple. You can start getting stomach problems, and the same thing with corn. So this process, which is called nixtalamization, helps it so that you can turn this into a superfood. And this process is 1,000 years old, and part of also Oakland's history. And so, and corn tortillas is a staple, and that is like the heart of the meal. And we use this for our soup, our pozole, and then we use this for our blue corn quesadillas. And so this is an added extra step for us, but we wanted to do this because we wanted to start using some of the fair trade companies that are working with the farms in Chiapas and other states of Mexico.
Chef, you're open to dine. Let this be clear, correct? Right?
We're open.
There's a question. There's a question that just came in from a young person that said, are you open to dine? And because the website, I guess, is going through a transition, they said.
Well, right now, it's just that we have a very small staff. So we do a couple days for like cleaning and prepping and or inventory, and then we are open the doors for guests. It's been about consistently for about 2 months now. So it's Thursday at 4 o'clock to 8:30, Friday, same thing, 4 o'clock to 8:30, and then on Saturday brunch. So that's 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're so blessed that people have come out and filled up the patio. We have limited indoor seating right now, but we want to make sure we give people options.
And are you going to be ramping up the hours as you go forward?
Little by little. I think the more that we have, it feels like every week we're adding a couple of new members to the staff. So that's a blessing. And we have a majority of our staff is from our original location at Cosecha in downtown Oakland. And they wanted to come over to the new space, so they're here. But we're still, we have a few teenagers working with us in the kitchen and in the front of the house, and they're learning how to make cappuccinos. They're learning how to be a busboy. They're learning how to mop and sweep. I mean, the basics. So and now that they're back to school, we're just bringing in some more, making sure there's enough elders and to kind of work with the teenagers and to work with each department, and we'll be able to start adding more days.
I just want to mention one thing I like about this dish as well is it's good for those moms and fathers that are going back to school. It's a really quick dish to make, isn't it?
The trout, yes.
Yeah.
It is, and you can keep it in a Tupperware.
That's right.
And you're good. You're good. And that salad, because it has a lot of citrus and there's the acid from the tomatoes. It'll keep. You're good for like 3 days. Like that's just so delicious. Yeah.
We did have a question about the tostadas. So do you have tips for making those at home?
Yeah, the tostadas, when you're making tostada, make sure the grease is hot. So this is something I had to learn when I was a kid. I'm kind of like, what's happening? Because I would see my mom and grandma making enchiladas, right? And it's a different kind of a fry on the tortilla than the tostada. So it doesn't have to be as hot, but when you're doing tostadas, you want to make sure that you have maybe an inch of fry oil, like a canola. We do a mix of the grapeseed and a canola oil, and So, and we have a deep fryer, but we also do shallow fried. And for me, just small batches, maybe of three tortillas max, and just let it do its thing. Don't walk away. Just give them one flip and then let it get golden brown on both sides and you're done. And at that point, you can keep controlling the oil a little bit, depending on your stove at home. But that's the thing. Otherwise, if you want to make sure the grease is hot, you want to make sure this is, just put a little corner of it and make sure that
that's a good tip.
it's sizzling, because otherwise that tortilla will just absorb too much oil and never really get as crispy as you want it.
So you want that sizzle as soon as you put it in.
Yes, and then make sure just be safe around that that grease, because it's
Yeah, keep the kids away at that
keep
point.
the kids away. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, they'll enjoy the food, but they won't enjoy the fry.
Exactly.
Well, that's great. I think. Let's see. I think Emily, if we want to announce the winner of the $150 gift certificate, we'll do that now.
Oh, very cool.
Roll.
That's awesome. Wow.
And the winner is Nancy.
Nancy, congratulations.
Okay, Nancy.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I'll see you here at Bombera.
And Nancy will follow.
I'm going to be coming with her.
Yes.
I'm coming
Yeah,
back.
thanks, Nancy. We'll do a little wine, and it'll be nice.
Perfect.
But Nancy will follow up with you on email and make sure you get that gift certificate. But I think that's about it. Dominica, thanks so much for guiding us through that. I'd encourage everybody to come out here and check out this restaurant. It's really a beautiful spot.
Thank you so much for visiting us. I really appreciate the support.
Absolutely.
This is
Yeah,
awesome.
Ken, thanks for
you,
joining
Ken.
us and
Thank
for
you.
supporting
Thank you,
us. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. So that's
Thank
it for this episode of East Bay Eats. And remember to eat out, order ahead, dine often, and support your local restaurants and enjoy.
Yay,
Bye.
gracias.